Hey, good people, how you doing? David Taub here. Hope all is well, and I hope your guitar journeys are going famously. We're going to go over a fun song lesson today. The Eagles, New Kid in Town. I've been getting lots of requests for more acoustic songs, so I'm stripping down songs, rearranging them, and teaching them for one guitar. And also been getting requests for more Eagles and a little bit more challenging songs. You want some things that are going to push you a bit. So this song is going to be a little bit trickier. There's lots of bar chords in this song, lots of bar chord changing to open chords, which could be some of the most challenging changes you've been coming up to at this point in your guitar journey, but I'm going to help you through it. We're going to go over all the chords, the rhythms. Let's start by basically going over the intro. You'll see all the chords in the song. I'm going to show you right up here. And the song basically starts in the key of E major, and the chords in the opening progression is an E, then to a B7. We'll do a simplified version first, just using an A chord, then going to a B7, and to an E. Now there's different embellishments you could add too, but basically I'm just going to strip it down for one guitar. If you know Eagles songs, there's a lot of instrumentation, there's a lot of great stuff going on, a lot of harmonies, right? Killer vocal harmonies, a lot of talent in that band. But I'm going to try to bring it to you in a simplified version. I'll play the intro first, and then I'll go back and explain what I'm doing. And for most of this song, we're going to use the same strum pattern. I'll give you two of them you could use. You could use this down, down, up, up, down, up, kind of an eighth note feel. See if you can get that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, up. We'll use that for most of it, or you could use another eighth note pattern. Would be something like maybe down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up. Okay, I'm just holding the strings so you could hear the rhythm. Either one will work for most of the song. So here's the intro. I'll play it first, then I'll go back and explain it. And then we're into the first verse. So basically you play the E for two measures. Down, down, up, down, up. Then you switch to the B7 for two measures. Then you go to the A chord. You can play that for one measure. And if you want to do an embellishment there, you could just go and take your third finger off and play an A suspended second. And then put it back on. Right? So you get down, down, finger off, up, up, and then down, up, back on the A chord. Right? Or if you don't want to do that, just play the whole A chord for a full measure. You could do this embellishment if you want to on the B7. And all I'm doing there is I'm taking my pinky off the high E string. And that makes it actually a B11 chord because we're adding that E chord to the B7. We're adding the E note. This gives it a little extra something. So if you want to play that from the A, it'll sound like this. And then back to the E chord for two. Down, down, up, down, up. Okay, so that's the intro. Then you go into the first verse. There's talk on the street. Those chords, you're going to go stay on that E chord for two measures. Okay, and then it gets a little tricky because you're going to play a bar chord. You're going to go to an F sharp minor chord to a B major. All right? And what I'm going to do there is you're going to break the strum up. It's the same down, down, up, down, up we'll use. Again, I'm just trying to simplify it, but just give the first two hits on the F sharp minor, and then up, down, up on the B major. Down, down, up, down, up. I even do a chuck, like down, chuck, up, down, chuck. Just loosening pressure to give it an extra little accent. right? So if I put those together, here's what we have in the first verse so far. Play on that E chord for 2 measures. Then you go to the A chord, A major for 1 measure. Then to B7 for measure. Then back to E for 2 measures. And it repeats that again. So I'll play the whole thing up to then. You get this. There's talk on the streets. Here comes the bar chord change. To the A. B7. Everybody watching you. Back to E. Then it starts over again. E. People you meet for 2 measures. Here comes a change. Same thing. A again. B7 per measure. Back to E. Okay. Now at the end of that, leading into the chorus, you're going to go to A flat or a G sharp major chord for 1 measure. All right, so it goes from that E. All right, and if you want to embellish that a little bit, you could take off your pinky. So go 2 downs on the A flat major, and if you take your pinky off, that's an A flat 7th chord, dominant 7th. Just gives it a little bit more spice, you know. So from that E, down, down, up, down, up, A flat to the 7th. All right, so that's the verses, and that verse will repeat again after the next chorus. All right, so then you go to the chorus, the Johnny Come Lately part, and we're going to get into more bar chords. So you're going to go from a C sharp minor to an F sharp major. All right, now, if you're struggling with bar chords, and if you're finding they're very difficult to change, especially to open chords, I can help you with that. I put together a free video lesson, which is awesome. It's not on YouTube, and it takes you through the essential techniques when playing your bar chords, how to change bar chords to opens to bar in the most efficient manner, and it also gives you tons and tons of exercises, and it's a great lesson. And I'll also send you my free beginner ebook that has the chord charts and lots more lessons and practice in that. Just click on the link in the YouTube description box, and I will send you that free lesson and the free ebook, and it'll really help your bar chords and get them to the next level. And it just takes some time and practice, and just make sure you're using the proper techniques. And I go over all that in that video lesson. So, Johnny Come Lately is a measure on C sharp minor and a measure on F sharp. Do that a couple times, it'll sound like this. C sharp minor again, F sharp minor. Now when you're not still around, he does a measure on F sharp, which is really cool. And then he does F sharp minor. Take a look at that chord. All you do is you take off your second finger from the major chord and you have minor. That's very interesting. That kind of adds a little bit of drama. That last time it goes from the C sharp minor to the F sharp major to the F sharp minor. So don't let them down. Then you go B7 to E and you let the E ring. I'll play the whole chorus for you. It'll sound like this. Starting on the C sharp minor. Johnny Come Lately, F sharp major, again, New Kid in Town, again, C sharp minor, F sharp minor, B7, and hit the E and let it ring, or you can arpeggiate it when he's saying, look in her eyes, the music begins to play. Okay, so that takes you into verse 2, and verse 2 is the same as verse 1. You look in her eyes, the music begins to play, you know, hopeless romantics, here we go again. And that takes you into the second chorus, right? And the second chorus is the same thing, but then the second chorus ends into the guitar solo, and I'll show you the chords under the solo, which is an E to a B7, to an A, to a B7, kind of like the intro. Back to the E. Then there's a quick 4-chord change that goes from an A, E, F sharp minor, E, and into the bridge. There's so many things you should have told her. Okay, now, the thing about that is those chords change very quickly, and that's a challenging part of the song. But I'll play it for you slow, and then I'll play it at regular speed. So, underneath the guitar solo, you're going to play E for two measures, B7 for 2, A for 1, B7 for 1, E for 1. Now here's that quick change. Into B7, okay? So that change again, A, E, F sharp minor, E. And then you gotta get right to B7 because there's so many things you should have told her. You gotta keep that strum. It'll sound like this at regular speed. So many things you should have told her. So you see how quick you got to hop right back in time into the bridge section. There's so many things you should have told her right after the guitar solo. So you're doing really great, you know, and that's a big chunk of the song we got already down. You know, the intro, the verses, the choruses, underneath the guitar solo, and we're using that same strum pattern throughout most of the song. And again, once you get the chords down and you get the strumming down, you don't have to do it so literal as my interpretation here. I'm just trying to do this in the easiest way for instructional purposes. You could change up the strum patterns, you can embellish more. There's all kinds of things you can have fun with, right? This is just the skeleton, the structure, right? So, okay, so we just finished the guitar solo. You played the chords underneath the solo, and then it goes into this bridge section. There's so many things you should have told her. And those chords are B7 to an E, night after night, B7, willing to hold her. Now it comes to a cool section of changes. C sharp minor to the B chord, F sharp 7, which I'll show you in a second, A minor 7th, tears on her shoulder is D. Okay, so the B chord again, which was earlier, and then you're going to go to an F sharp 7th chord. It's basically an F sharp major, just take your pinky off. You have F sharp 7th. A minor 7th is like an A minor chord. There's a couple different ways you could play it. Easiest way is play A minor, but take off your third finger. A minor 7th. And then you know D major probably. So that part to there sounds like this. There's so many things you should have told her. B7. E. Night after night, B7. Sharp minor. All right, so what you do there is obviously the B7 for 2, E for 2, B7 for 2, C sharp minor, hold her, just hold her. Okay, so on that just hold her, on that B chord, go down, down, up. And then down, down, up on the F sharp 7. So you get this. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. And if you're having any trouble with any particular set of changes, just break them down and practice them back and forth until you get it. You know, a couple minutes a day, right? So it's from the C sharp minor. Down, down, up, down, down, up. Then to the A minor 7, full strum to the D. That part again. And we're back into the third verse, but when they hop back into that next verse, there's a key change. They modulate up to the key of G, and if you notice, the vocals are going to be sung higher now, 3 frets. Remember before in the beginning we were going from that E? Right now it's up to G. You got to stretch, right? So that's cool, and they do that in their songs. They'll change keys here and there, which is a very interesting thing. So basically, you're playing all the same changes you played earlier, but you're moving everything up a minor third or 3 frets. So that would be, and this is where there's talk on the street. It sounds Oh, it's there to remind you. Last verse. So you're going from the G to the A minor, D. And that A minor and D is changed in the same way you were doing F sharp minor and B before. Like down, down, up, up, down, up. But we're doing it with open chords this time. So on the A minor, down, down. And then switch to D, up, up, down, up. So it starts off G. 2 measures. Here's the change. Right? And then you go to a C chord. Doesn't really matter. For a measure to D. Which side you're on, back to G. And then you're walking away. And they're talking behind you, A minor to D, A minor to D. They will never forget you as C, D. Somebody who comes along, G, and B7. Into that next chorus. I'll play that whole verse in the key of G. It'll sound like this. Stalk on the streets, it's there to remind you. So A minor and D. C, doesn't really D matter which side you're on, G. 2 measures. And then continue with the G, you're walking away. They're talking behind you, here's that change. A minor to D. They will never forget you as C, D, G, B7. Where have you been lately? Okay, so we're going into that chorus now. E minor, or you could play an E minor 7th. All right, there's your E minor. If you want to jazz it up a little bit, put your pinky on that D note, B string, 3rd fret, E minor 7th, to an A major. If you want to get really tricky, you could throw in that cool little lick Don Felder is playing. It's just 3rd fret, 2nd fret, low E string, to an open low E. But if you're going to do that, you have to do it in time, so you got to cut the A chord short. I'll play just the chorus for you without that lick. It'll just be E minor to A. E minor, new kid in town. E minor to A, everybody loves you. And it changes to an A minor 7th. But let me show it to you if you throw the lick in. It'll sound like this. Where have you been lately? New kid in town. So on that A chord, down, down, you could pretty much only do like a down, down, up, and then you got to get to that lick. But when you play the lick, it kind of drops. You don't hear all the chord ringing anymore. So depending on if you're doing this with 1 guitar or 2 guitars, that would probably dictate if you play the lick or not. If you're just doing it with 1 guitar just to keep it sounding full, I would probably just play the A chord. E minor to A. Or E minor 7th to A. Now here's another change. When it goes on, he's holding her, and the harmonies kick in. It's an A minor 7th to B7. So it's A minor 7th, he's holding her. You're still around. Does all that harmony stuff now. There's a new change because they got to get back to the key of E to end the song. So that change is going to be E to an A flat minor 7th. Okay? Again, to make a major chord a minor chord on a 6-string bar, all you do is you take the major chord and you take off your 2nd finger, flatting that 3rd, and it makes it minor. So A flat minor 7th to an A major. So I would just take that and move that up, play the A bar chord since you're right there, to a B7. We're almost done, just a couple more chords. And they do that 3 times. So let me play the chorus, that last chorus, into that change. It'll go like this. E minor, where you been lately, A, E minor, A, last time E minor, everybody loves you. There's A minor 7th. B7, E, flat minor 7th A, back to B7, just a new kid in town, repeat. 3 times, and then it goes into the ooh-oohs. Everybody's talking about the new kid in town. That's the last change of the song. And when the song, they play that, fade out. That's just E to a C sharp minor. So you go E. Everybody's talking about the new kid in town, C sharp minor. Woo-hoo. 2 measures on E. Right? C sharp minor. There's a new kid in town. I don't want to hear it. C sharp minor, right? And the song ends on that. So that's it. That's the whole thing. I know it's a lot of chords. It's a lot of changes, and a lot of changes you might not be familiar with, but that's what you have to do to get better on guitar, is you got to push yourself. And I'm constantly pushing my students to take on more challenging chord changes, learning more strum patterns, and developing their ears so they can play these strum patterns rhythmically. I'm pushing them to play and try harder songs, because that's what's going to get you to the next level. You can't just stay on those same easy couple of changes all the time. You got to go into those deep, pull yourself into the deep waters. Swim in the deep end of the pool. Go ahead and dive off that board into the cliffs below. You can do it. And that's how you're going to get better, is take on these more challenging songs, right? And this one is a bit challenging, but you can do it. It just takes time and patience. And like I said, the big thing is make sure you have your bar chord technique solid. And if you want some help with that, you want some more free lessons, just click on that link in the YouTube text box. I will hook you up for free, my latest beginner ebook and that video lesson. And if you like this lesson, please do us a favor and click the like button, the thumbs up. That really helps us. Or leave a comment in that in the comment box below. And please subscribe to the channel here at Epic Guitar Instruction. That really helps us also, and we appreciate your support. Just click that subscribe button. We'll let you know when we have new stuff coming out. I try to put up new videos all the time. I got some good electric guitar stuff coming up, some lead guitar stuff, as well as I know you want more acoustic stuff. But leave us some comments and let us know what you want to hear. We're here to help. You can always email us. Check out our Facebook page. I'll put all those links in the description box below. So keep putting those guitars in your hands every day. Don't get discouraged. Remember, you can do it. Swing for the fences. I'll see you in the next lesson. Take care. Keep on rocking.